Now, according to a Nigerian slang, no be to japa, you go see job. That means it's not just to travel out. Will you be able to secure a job, basically? Thing is, a lot of people are presented with this idea that everything is perfect once you cross the shores of a country. I mean, what are we saying? It even happens here, in Nigeria, where some people from some states migrate to another state hoping that they're going to pick monies from the floor. So it's not new. Now, in today's interconnected world, migration has become a reality for millions of people seeking better opportunities in other countries. However, the grass is not always greener on the other side, and many individuals find themselves leaving successful careers in their home countries only to take on menial jobs in their new environment. For example, leaving a banking job or a nursing job for a cleaning job or to be a caregiver. It's another episode of Fafanua Africa, and it's a show that addresses topical issues as it pertains to the youth across the African continent. Now, still talking about the migration issue, let's take a quick look at this.
This message is for Africans that want to come to Canada. Don't. And let me be very honest, why? All right? They'll tell you, oh, they can get you jobs here. But what they don't tell you is that the jobs that they're giving you is ones Canadians don't even want to do themselves. All right? You leave your job over in Africa, you're probably a banker, someone ranked very high and respected, and you come here to be a cleaner? You come here and they put you in a position to be a farmer? Like, the mere disrespect, and it's not like you're not paying your way. You're paying, and you're paying a hefty fine to come here and create a better life. But the disrespect, I'm sorry, I find that as very disrespectful, because I know for a fact that if it was a white person or any person that was Canadian that came to Africa, y'all would have kissed them in a higher position. Well, guess what? They ain't doing that for you, boo-boo. They are not.
Well, that's basically what we're going to be talking about today. She mentioned two major things. First is leaving a good job in your own country and moving, to another country, hoping for greener pastures, but taking on menial jobs that sort of downgrades you or reduces your rep, like the youth will call it. But anyways, to have this conversation, I'm now joined first by Tawakalt Adeola Ahmed, a youth advocate in Oyo State. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too. Now, second, we have Sheyi Thomas, process assistant, Amazon, Michigan in the USA. Thank you so much, Sheyi, for joining us as well. Adeola, I'm going to ask you a personal question for us to start this conversation with. 20 millionaire in your bank account. You have 20 millionaire in your bank account. Would you rather stay in the country and be an average millionaire while still working your way to the top, get more money, get a better life for yourself? Or would you migrate to something similarly better with the money you have?
Okay, that depends on what I'm currently working on in the country. So for me, I feel like personally, it depends on whatever I'm working on currently in the country that I am, which is Nigeria. And 20 million naira, I don't think the first option for me is to japa, as they say, or to travel out of the country to start looking for other opportunities, depending on whether there's an opportunity on the other side, actually. But for me, I don't think that would be my first point of thought. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because currently there are lots of opportunities in Nigeria. Yes, there's a reason why people are trying to travel out of the country, and people have various reasons for traveling out. Yeah, it could be your partner, it could be the security issues in Nigeria, it could be the health sector, issues with the health sector, or which is very valid. You understand? But for me, I don't think that would be my first point of thought.
Right. Okay, Sheyi Thomas, I'm going to throw the same question at you. Please, can you confirm you can hear me before we continue? Sheyi, are you there?
I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning to you too. All right. I just asked the other guest, Adeola, a question, and I want to ask you the same question. So you have 20 million naira in your bank account. Would you rather stay in the country and be an average millionaire while you're working your way to the top, or would you rather use the money to jackpot?
Well, the question is subjective anyway. 20 million naira today When you convert that to dollars, I think that's about probably $20,000. And when you're coming over here, you're coming to work. It's not easy around here. And for you to make $20,000, the video you just showed talking about the kind of jobs people do, for you to save $20,000 in a year, that's a very difficult thing. You must be earning like probably 60,000 or 80,000, and you can be earning $12 an hour, $15 an hour, and expect to save up that kind of amount, because you have to, the rent alone, you are paying an average of $1,000 in a month. That's about $1 million more in a month for rent. So by the time you put all these expenses and all these bills together, you have nothing. You're just living, you have a normal life, but to have that savings, you don't have it. But if you're in Nigeria, if you have that 20 million naira, you can invest in a business, small scale or whatever, and little by little, you're going to make a lot of money. Over here, we're proud of where we are from. We tell them, look, I'm from Africa, I'm from Nigeria, and I'm proud of it. Where I'm from, we have a good life. It's just that not everybody's having the good life. That's the bad thing about it. But we have a better life more than most of them around here. Everybody's just living from paycheck to paycheck. But 20 million naira is a lot for someone in Nigeria. So don't even make that mistake and say you want to invest that when you don't even know what you're going to meet over here. But if you have, let's say you're coming to the tech industry, you have an insight into what you're coming to do. You know the kind of job you're coming to do, and you know how much it's going to fetch you, or you're looking for a better standard living for your family. For a long time run, maybe you want to establish a family around in the Western countries, no problem. You can do that and sacrifice every other thing. I have a friend who was in Nigeria and he was making millions. He told me he traveled to the US. I was like, why did you do that? He said, no, I did it for my kids. And that's his own goal. So if you don't have that kind of goal and you're saying you're looking for greener pastures, please don't even try it. It's a waste of time.
All right. Before we go forward, I would like to see what people are saying about Jagba, because just like that video, a lot of people are of different opinions when it comes to migration. Some people believe that, you know, when you get there, you will just make money magically. Some people believe that when you get there, you suffer. Because recently, you know, videos have been emerging of people saying, don't call more, don't scam, you know, it's not true, it's a scam. They lied to you and things like that. So I want us to take a look at the tweets and then we'll come back to have a conversation. Now, Bethel says, most people don't get it. Some will say, even if I will go and be doing security or selling in shops, I just want to jackpot. They don't know how things are being priced there, and they forget that we're tax-free. But over there, they have no option but to start paying tax. Said says, ha ha ha. If I am seeing this, or if you are seeing this, I beg you in the name of God and whatever job you're doing, do not think of Jagba, I beg. No place like home. You're doing excellently good, and may God continue to bless your job and your ways. Stay with your job and pray for grace. Peace. AFC says, I want to Jagba. This is where they settle for. Some of them have no, so I want to Jagba, I assume that is in other people's words, that this is where they settle for. Some of them have no jobs, businesses that gives them close to or over $1 million monthly, yet they want to jackpot. YDO says, peer pressure is why you're asking whether you should jackpot even though you are comfortable, working 2 remote jobs and 1 hybrid, and relatively safe, health insurance and more, already own lands and a house. No one says you shouldn't jackpot, but have a plan. For me, it's better to visit first and study the place to know the laws and what to do and know what to do and maybe what not to do. Plus the jobs available there, then go back to your country and plan before making the leap. So basically it's just saying you don't just jump into it. If you do not have enough money to sustain yourself for at least 3 months abroad before you get yourself a job, do not jackpot. People are not being told the reality of how long it will take for them to get a job before they leave Nigeria. Some also get used to shelters like this, referring to the one in the previous picture. Now, they believe if they sow a seed in Nigeria's soil, it won't germinate. So it is better they do it on the soil they believe in, which is abroad. Well, that's all the tweets that we can take. Let me come back to you, Adeola. What do you think are the major driving factors behind the decision of people to migrate? You know, a lot of people will say that because I need more money. Some say because the country is not safe. Some, just like uh, the other person just said, that his friend said that, you know, he wanted to move because of his children. So there are different reasons why people want to migrate. But what do you think is the major driving factor?
For now, I think that the major is the exchange rates. So most people feel like if I work abroad and convert to naira, I can send home, I can invest, and all of those things. So one reason for me is the exchange rates. Another reason could be the situation of the health sector in Nigeria, which is very, very bad. I won't lie about that. So that is another reason for people's mindset to japa anytime. And also the insecurity in Nigeria, that is so alarming. You cannot, we hear of kidnap, we hear of bomb blasts, all of those things actually deal with people mentally, and then they feel like, oh, this place is not safe for me, it's not safe for my family members, and then yeah, it might just be the only option, because some people are actually very okay in Nigeria and still want to travel out of the country just because they feel okay, this particular place is not safe for me, it's not safe for my family. And some people, like the other person said, um, um, some people travel because they want to secure a future for their children, which is also valid. At least they want to have like a better future for their children. They want their children to grow up in the Western world and all of those. So yeah, those are the reasons that I can actually think of. There are lots of other reasons, but I feel that's much more general to
All right.
everyone.
Okay, now, Shayi, one of the tweets that we read, someone there says that, you know, a lot of times peer pressure, the social media is it plays a vital role when it comes to shaping people's decisions. Because you've seen people post on social media, oh, I've gone now to a better life, as though they were not living before, or, you know, oh, things have passed away, because these days people don't just outrightly come out and say they've relocated. They just use one very vague caption and then it leaves you guessing. So a lot of people are kind of moved by what they see on social media. Oh, this person is now living better. The skin is glowing. They're using the latest iPhone. They look like they're making money. I think it's time for me to do the same. So do you think that social media and the society at large plays a role in shaping people's decisions when it comes to that, making the choice to migrate?
Yes, I think so. Because most of these people, when they come around, what they expect is not what they have met. So they need to have a make believe. Like my friend and the one I referred to that said he was doing it for his children. I was still in Nigeria and he knew I wanted to travel before him, but then he just called me, oh, I'm now in the US and this and that. And I was like, you are good in Nigeria. You are doing well. You have a business, a thriving business. So why would you do that? That was when he told me, oh, it's about this, it's about that. He spoke to me for like an hour, and everything he was doing, he was trying to convince himself that he made the right decision. This is someone who was staying somewhere in a I think he was staying somewhere, he had an apartment, a very good apartment somewhere in Lagos, in a serene environment, and he ended up staying in a studio. His studio is like one room that's self-contained.
Mm.
That's what he came here to see. He was staying there with his family. That was someone who was living large in Nigeria. But then when you see him post videos, he posts videos like he's having fun, he's having all that. It's all make believe. And this is what people see and think, oh, yes, these people are doing well. The person that has a new iPhone, how did he get a new iPhone? Over here, you can have your iPhone, and all you just need to do is just apply to whatever, maybe a carrier or somewhere else, and then boom, they give you the credit. They give you the phone. You start paying little by little. Maybe it's $5 a month, or maybe $20 or something. Everything you can pay on credits, and that's what they're living on. And the only difference I see is that maybe people from the social media, it's people when you send this money abroad. If I say, okay, let's say I'm sending $50 home now. That's about 50,000 now. That's a lot of money. So you think, oh, I'm making a lot of money, but before I could get you that $50, I know how much I know how much I waited to be able to do that. So it's the shame. The shame of it, like, look, we can't go back home. They cannot see that we have made a mistake. I have a friend who worked all his life in the banking sector, and then he just got me, oh, I'm in the UK now. He had a house. He sold his house. What a decision. How can you have a house, you sell a house just to travel somewhere you don't know? The story is different today, I'm sure, but all of them, they cannot say all that. But when they come online, they try to make you believe that everything is fine. I'm telling you, everything is not fine because the bills they're paying, where they are living, how they are living, they cannot tell that to the whole world. But people will see them think, oh, they're doing well. And then they want to be like that too. And the reality dawns on you the moment you come in and like, whoa, I thought I'll be plucking money on the tree. But there's no money on the tree here. I'm telling you, you work. You have to work hard.
Mm. Okay. Now, Adeola, also in that video that we saw, the lady was trying to, make comparison between maybe African migrants from African countries coming into, let's say, the UK or Canada, whatever country, and when they are coming into an African country. Now, she says something in the lines of, when the white people come, or when the people from other countries visit the African countries or relocate to the African countries, Africans seem to treat them like kings. But when the Africans go to these other countries, they give them the worst job possible. They give them the worst living conditions possible according to them. And it's as though they do not matter in the society, regardless of the fact that they paid heavily to get there. What do you think about that?
I would say that Africans are very accommodating. I think that is just one reason why we treat people as though they are kings or queens from any other country. So we are very accommodating when it comes to people coming into the country. But then, considering the fact that we are accommodating and we are supposed to expect the same reaction from people in other country, there is this mentality of the whites that they feel like, oh, these people are not humans, they are animals. Those before all of the issues before the amalgamation, the slave trade, and all of those things. So it has given them a mentality that, okay, these people are slaves. These people are supposed to be used for menial jobs. These people are they are not even humans. They are supposed to maybe suffer or something. So maybe the mentality is what makes them think that, oh, we are better than these people, and then we can give them the worst job possible. But when it comes to let me just say Africa at large, maybe because we are also we got how did they put this? Maybe because what did you say, Sheyi?
Colonial map.
Yeah. So maybe because of that, maybe, just maybe. But personally, I wouldn't, it's not normal. I wouldn't say it's normal, but just let us put in the factor that that is what we're suffering from.
All right. Now, Sheyi, you're there. I don't know how long you've been there, but I'm sure that maybe you have a better understanding of what we're talking about. The idea that, Africans are not really regarded because it's not their home, and the reverse is the case when they come over to the African country. Have you experienced anything in that line, or do you think of it as, do you have a different opinion to that?
Me personally, I've experienced something like that. Because when I came in, the first thing I had to do, I worked in a manufacturing company, and it's an auto company. When I started, a lot of Africans are there, Arabs, and all that. Arabs had promotions, but Africans, none of them rose beyond the level. There's a level they all rose to. But when I got there within 9 months, I pushed for it. The first thing they looked at, especially the blacks, the people with the same color that you have, they look at you like you're less human. Even the whites are better. But they just look at you and they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to, until you show them what you have, until you show them, like, you look, I've got something upstairs. So when I say that, within 9 months, I was able to get that position. Nobody at team lead. I was able to get that, which nobody had before me. And after that, I think another African was able to get that. And I think another after that. But then they still did everything. Another person came in, another manager came in, and he was like, look, why would this African be giving instructions to white men, to Americans? There was a day he was even talking to me, do you guys go to jungle? You get it. It's because of most of them, they lack education. They forget the fact that this person is living abroad and they lack education. Most of them don't go beyond high school, secondary school. But if you see people go through the normal education, like the tertiary education, they are college educated, you see their reason is different. So that one came and he was like, look, he did everything possible to make sure that, yes, I was not the one giving the instruction that I had to leave my position. He did everything to do that. But that's not to say that we are not doing well. Nigerians are doing well in all sectors. I know respected Nigerians. We look at the medical sector, especially medicals and all that. We have Nigerians there and we're thriving. So if you come around and you know what you are doing, you get yourself the education, you get yourself the certifications you need, you definitely have a better life, because at that point, you are dealing with the educated ones. But if you don't have the certificate, if you don't have the certification and everything you need, the education that you need, you'll probably be working with these people who don't know anything and they look at you like you are nothing, which is what we face every day. But the moment they understand that you have something upstairs, they start respecting you. And for our people over there in Africa, it's a culture, just like she said. We treat people well. But I think more of it is inferiority complex, because you see the way the stories I've heard about the Chinese in Nigeria, it's not good. We treat them, these are people who are nothing, these are people who didn't even go to school where they came from. Common mechanics, and they just come around and we treat them, we give them escorts, we give them policemen, people who are better than them, treating them worse. It's about our system, about inferiority complex from Nigerians, and I think we need to stop that, because Nigerians are the smart people I've seen on one of the smartest people, and I'm proud to say that. I say that to them when I see them. When I see anybody, I tell you, look, from the biggest country in the world, and I'm from one of the smartest people on earth. And they're surprised. You see, we show it.
Interesting. All right. On this note, I want to say a big thank you to my guests, lady and gentleman, Tawakalt Adeola Ahmed, youth advocate in Oyo State. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, Sheyi Thomas, a process assistant, Amazon, Michigan, United States. Thank you so much for joining us as well.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. You're still watching Fafanua Africa. When we come back, we go straight to our multi-part series on creativity. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.